Employees Association. And they are going to talk a little bit about their organization, how you can participate, what types of training opportunities they have, and all the good stuff that goes along with the Employees Association. So unless there's anything else, I'm going to just hand it over to one of them. I don't know who's going to start us off.
All right, thanks so much. My name is Gretchen Rank, and I'm with the Colorado Employees Association. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Gretchen, you're a little bit hard to hear.
Oh, okay, let me see. Is that better? Yep, okay, great. All right. So I am currently in the role of treasurer for the Colorado Conservation District Employees Association. There's somebody in the waiting room since I'm a co-host. Do I need to let them in? No, okay, great. So the main three goals within our bylaws for the Employees Association is to support all district employees with education opportunities through meetings, teleconferences, and webinars. We'll be talking later today about some opportunities coming up for conservation district employees in the state of Colorado, and really wanting to start to build on that goal and really meet the needs of employees in the state of Colorado. To encourage all district employees to be members of the Colorado Conservation District Employees Association. So membership dues are $20 a year, or there's a rate for conservation districts who actually don't have employees, but that also want to support the Employees Association or their board supervisors, or maybe filling that role in a volunteer way, and could participate within some of our trainings that are specific to those roles. And then really encouraging networking opportunities between districts. We really feel like, you know, we're stronger together. We know that we're all spread out throughout the state, but really hoping to be able to meet in person more often and network, and maybe even supply some virtual options for networking. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So this is just a quick list of the purposes of CCDEA and some of the activities of CCDEA. I won't go into all of these. We can certainly share this PowerPoint with the attendees or anyone watching the recording later on. But it really does state, you know, what we're here to do. We're here to be an effective role for employees to make sure they have those professional development and educational opportunities that they're seeking to be successful. To continue partnerships with our partners at the state level and the federal level, and then really try to work on the longevity of employees, right, and sustainability of employees, and work to help mitigate some of the turnover that we see within our state. We do that through an annual meeting each year, through training sessions. We have sent out several different surveys. CSCB has also helped us send out surveys, really trying to capture those needs and desires, working on educational seminars and trainings, and then again, just kind of listing our partnerships and how we can do that through those partnerships. Trying to encourage attendance at the state and national meetings. I know some of the employees that are on today have had the opportunity to visit a national meeting, whether that's a national annual meeting or a mid-year for the Southwest region. And those are just really, really great meetings to attend. You come back with just amazing ideas, really great networking opportunities. And I always come home just kind of energized to do something within my district and for my landowners. And then encourage district employees to attend any kind of newcomer session. A lot of times those newcomer sessions at the CACD or NACD meetings are really important because they really get you grounded if you're brand new to your position, and can really help connect you just immediately to those resources that are out there. So I did mention CACD dues a little bit earlier. They're $20 per employee, payable by or at our annual meeting. Most of you should have received kind of the Google form for filling out for those dues. And those just really help CCDEA, not CCACDEA, with our kind of operations and being able to offer scholarships or opportunities to employees to get them to those meetings or trainings. I'm going to let Vanessa take over now here on this slide on connections for district employees.
Gretchen, can you click on that or should I share my screen? The link. Will it go there or do I need to? Let's see.
Are you seeing that now?
I still just see your PowerPoint.
Okay.
I can share my screen if that's easier.
It came up on my end and I'm
There it
sharing
is.
a new share. Okay, great.
Awesome. So good morning, everybody. I'm Vanessa McCracken. I'm with the Boulder Valley and Longmont Conservation Districts in Longmont. One of the things that Gretchen and I talked about this year, I'm a fairly new district manager. I've been here almost 3 years, but I know that most of that time has been during COVID with limited opportunities to get to know everyone and meet folks in person. And so one of the things that I thought could help us was to, have a place where we can see what all the other districts are doing. So we created this Google Doc where everyone could add in sort of like high level information about what their districts are doing. So you can see there on the top, I put Boulder Valley and Longmont's information in there and just kind of, the staffing, who we have, the typical crops or projects and irrigation or not, who we partner with, potential revenue sources, what do we have, how do we fund ourselves, how do we make it work? And then we also asked every other district to go ahead and put their information in here as well. And the idea being, if you have a question about whatever your district is dealing with, you can come to this Google Doc, take a look and see who might be doing something similar or maybe has in the past. And the contact information's in there. So you can go ahead and use this to reach out to other district managers or other district staff who might be someone you could talk through for a solution to something that you're working on. So that was the idea behind this. And I think several districts did go ahead and fill this in. So please use this as a resource to you. If things change, it can be updated. It's just a simple Google Doc. So hopefully most of you on here have seen this. Can you scroll down a little, Gretchen, to see the other districts and kind of what everybody else is up to? Yes, we got Yuma County, Jefferson, East Otero, West Otero, Tempest, Olney Boone, Bent, and I learned a lot looking through here, seeing what people are up to and what kind of projects and things they're working on. So please use this as a resource. And the other thing is I have found it really useful. There's just the kind of list that CSCB keeps for when they blast out information to us. And sometimes when I need things, I just blast it out to all the districts too. And I've found that really useful as well. I think we're always willing to help each other out. So I just encourage everyone to lean on each other. I know I'm always happy to help when I have something to share, and Gretchen as well. So please use this as a resource. If you have other ideas or suggestions, totally open to those as well. So that's just a quick explanation there of the Google Doc, just meant to be a resource for you. So we don't always have to go through Nikki or Kayla or Garth or John to figure out what we need to know. Gretchen, do you want to go back to your PowerPoint now, or do you want me to talk about the training? go ahead.
All right, so one of the pieces of kind of training and professional development for conservation district employees that the Colorado Employees Association is working on, we're looking at establishing an annual leadership program. We did a pilot this year between May and the graduation will actually happen in November, prior to the training that we're holding in conjunction with the CACD annual meeting. One of the feedback that we received from kind of the first pilot year was district employees have a more difficult time in putting in those kind of extra hours to attend a program during the field season. And we received that kind of both from Colorado and kind of within the Southwest region. And so in talking with the facilitator that facilitated this first pilot year, we talked about maybe a September to September for the second year. And that would give some time to plan, some time for registration in the spring to kind of open up and begin that process. And then having more hours kind of dedicated to the program between September and March, and then maybe some lighter hours or you know, a lighter schedule for the program kind of during those summer and field season months. Stephanie Scott is our facilitator, was our facilitator for the pilot. She will also be doing one of our trainings for professional development during the November 29th and 30th training. I believe most of you on the call received an invitation to that program with her bio and background, but it's just a really, really great way to build those personal and professional leadership skills that I really feel like are integral to some of the roles that conservation district employees are filling and you know, working directly with their landowners. She's worked really, really well on personality assessments, conflict styles and conflict resolution trainings. She's done an amazing job with communication and inter-office and board communication, communicating with partners, communicating with landowners, but all kind of built around who you are and what your leadership style is. Just really an amazing program. If you're able to attend the November 29th and 30th training, you'll get to hear kind of a little report out from the first cohort on kind of what that program was like for them, and then certainly receive an opportunity if you haven't participated in year one to sign up for year two. And I'll let Vanessa take the next.
Yeah, Gretchen, can I share my screen for a second?
Sure.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit more. I've sent this out in an email, but I just wanted to go over this in a little bit more detail, and hopefully we can get some more folks coming to our CCDEA training that we're planning on the tail end of the CACD meeting, as Gretchen mentioned. So this is the agenda. Like Gretchen said, Stephanie Scott, who did most of the work for the leadership cohort, she will be there offering a course on, you see there, connecting through communication and conflict for all district employees who are interested. Really looking forward to that. And then some time as well, just for district employees separate from our supervisors and everyone else who's there to just have dinner together and some time for networking. And then again on Wednesday morning, another hour or so with Stephanie, finishing up the communications in conflict session. And then we have invited Andrea Vall to do some high-level marketing work and training for us. I know for myself personally, it's something that I struggle with and certainly don't have a background in. So I'm really looking forward to Andrea's insights on the must-have marketing lessons and then the social media in 15 minutes a day. I know that we should do more. We do very little. I need to know how to do it in 15 minutes because that's about all I have. Then in the afternoon, we have some time scheduled for different topics. And really, I think this will depend somewhat on who comes to the meeting and what you all are interested in really dialing in on during the meeting. So there's definitely flexibility here. These were just some ideas from Gretchen and I about things that it would be useful for districts who are implementing these kinds of projects to just have time to talk to each other and learn from each other on these. So there's definitely room for other topics there if you all have some ideas. And we'll spend a little bit of time with Gretchen and Nikki Brinson talking about funding opportunities, whether that be grants or partnerships or all those things, because most of us could always use some more funding. And we will wrap up the afternoon with the CCDEA annual meeting. So that's for all district employees. As Gretchen mentioned, her and I, well, I guess, technically the vice president of the CCDEA right now. We don't have a president. We don't have any other officers. So we really need some folks to step up and be officers of the CCDEA moving forward. I think it's a great opportunity for district employees to really come together to drive the training needs that we have and to really work together to strengthen each of us individually and collectively. Another shout out, I wanted to do a little plug, reminder that we have an award for District Employee of the Year. I know there's fabulous district employees out there and we'd really like to recognize someone. So while the date that I put out there may have passed, please still send those our way as well. We do have some scholarships available. I know travel funds are hard sometimes to come by, so we do have some scholarship money available to attend the CCDEA training coming up in Colorado Springs. So, you know, if you didn't get that email or you have questions, please reach out to Gretchen or I. There's just a really quick application that we need you to fill out and we can help support your travel to the CCDEA training. Anything else, Gretchen, on that part?
No, that sounds great.
Okay, I will stop sharing. If you guys have questions, please jump in whenever.
All right. And so the last piece of kind of the training and professional development sessions, CSCB is looking to help the Employees Association host a district manager training session March 15th and 16th next spring. We're hoping that this will be a great opportunity and a follow-up kind of to the November 29th and 30th. We know we can't cover all topics, you know, in such a short time. And so more information will be coming on that session as well. I believe CSCB may also be looking at a survey or being able to survey at the November meeting on some topics to kind of help inform that March training as well. And then we're also thinking about some training webinars. You know, what do district employees need kind of on a regular basis? What do new district employees need as they come on to a conservation district throughout the year? And are there certain topics or certain trainings that wouldn't necessarily have to be an in-person training, but could be a PowerPoint with you know, information on how to fill out your budget or how to do a long-range plan, or you know, some of those how to take minutes, effective minutes. What are some of the you know, the state statute requirements? CSCB has that wonderful supervisor training, but kind of trying to think around those same lines for district employees that are new, kind of coming on board and looking for those resources outside of you know, maybe an in-person training, and maybe it's not timely to wait, right? If you come on in April and you have to wait till November or kind of the next in-person training, what are some of those resources that we can kind of put together that are accessible throughout the year through maybe a website? See, now my forwards are working on my PowerPoint. Anybody more tech savvy than me that knows how to move it forward? My arrows aren't working now. see my cursor is completely gone. I wonder if my computer's updating. All right. I'm going to try to reshare and see if it'll come back on. All right. There we go. All right, so Vanessa did mention this earlier, but we wanted to just put this out here again. We do need your help. We are at capacity, Vanessa and I, with our own districts. We certainly love, volunteering for the Employees Association and working towards strengthening, employees in the state of Colorado, but we're stronger together. We're also stronger if, we're spreading that workload a little bit kind of throughout the state as well. And so we are looking for officer positions. Our bylaws also allowed us to have board positions that are outside of kind of the executive board. Fundraising, we would love to be able to send employees to these state and national meetings on a more regular basis and offer more scholarships in the future. And so what does that fundraising, what does it look like historically for the Employees Association, and what might it look like in the future to be able to offer those scholarships? And then just continuing to plan these leadership and professional development opportunities and plan toward these trainings. We know that there's a wealth of information out there within our district employees. And so where might you be able to get involved, even if it's just a presentation on a project, an education opportunity, a presentation on a grant, and helping others understand what it's like to navigate. I hear the RCPP all the time. What is it like to navigate that, and take that on as a district, as a sponsor. And then looking at professional development speakers. We also know that you're connected within your communities and other resources outside of district employees. And so just being able to connect at a greater level and bring in the necessary really expertise around some of these things that we're all saying, boy, we really need more of. All right, that's all that we had for today for Vanessa and I, but we're certainly open to questions from anyone on today, and then wanted to put out the contact information in the CCDEA email. You're certainly welcome to reach out anytime. And I'm gonna let Vanessa also add anything, any last comments.
No, I don't have anything to add. Other than working with Gretchen on these opportunities for districts, like it's like everything, it's a lot of work, but it's also rewarding, and I think just as you get to meet more people throughout the state, we all strengthen each other. So I just hope we can keep the CCDEA moving forward and moving up and really meeting the needs of district employees. So I'm happy to talk about like any questions anybody has right now, as long as you all have time, or if you have other things to get to, that sounds good too.
Yes, so we absolutely have time for questions. And so go ahead, we'll open it up to the floor. This is just a really great opportunity to kind of pick the brains of Vanessa and Gretchen. And so, like I said, any questions from anyone joining us today? Okay, we have one from Debbie. How do we volunteer to help? Great question, thank you.
So I think the easiest way is just to reach out to the CCDEA email, to Vanessa and I, who are monitoring that email right now. It would be great to kind of know where you feel best, that you can contribute, what you enjoy doing, and kind of what your time looks like as far as volunteer hours. And then I would also encourage you, if you haven't yet, to fill in the spreadsheet that Vanessa created. Being able to get those districts in those spreadsheets, that's something that even Vanessa and I can go back to if we want to solicit for speakers. If you have an amazing education program, then it's going to be there in the spreadsheet, and we're going to know that's how we're going to be able to try to encourage others to come out and just speak about the successes of their district or the challenges. So that, I guess that would be my first take on that, but certainly can have Vanessa. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you for that, Gretchen. And we have another question from Julie. What time commitment would being an officer position require? That's a great question.
So I think it really depends on the officer position. And then ultimately it really is up to the individual and kind of what time they have to offer. President, if we end up with a very vibrant employees association, president, typically is working on agendas and scheduling at least an annual meeting a year. That is the one meeting that we're required to have by our bylaws. But Vanessa and I have talked about meeting more frequently, maybe once a quarter, to kind of keep some of these opportunities and connections moving forward. The vice president role, I always hear, it's probably one of the easiest if you have a president, right, Vanessa? Because you're just filling in for the president should they not be able to kind of fulfill their duties. Secretary currently right now is mostly minutes, but we did have a goal of having the secretary do the communications and monitor the CCDEA email. And then treasurer is QuickBooks. It's set up in QuickBooks. In the past, it's been minimal hours, but recently, just with the leadership program and a grant opportunity to help offer scholarships for the leadership program, and then this training coming up, there's been some additional added hours to the treasurer position. I'm trying to think how many hours in the last year. I've probably volunteered kind of for the Employees Association overall at least one full day a month, probably at least 8 hours a month. But I've been doing quite a bit more outside of the treasurer duties in helping to design and launch this leadership program, and that is actually going to be done by the first year cohort, and so some of that work has already kind of been volunteered for, so hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I would just say a lot of the times there's not a lot going on and not a lot to do, so many weeks there's nothing, but as events and things come up, it's not super significant, but like anything, you get out of it what you put into it. So, if there was 3 people instead of 2 or 4 instead of 2, it would even be less. So it's not overwhelming in any way.
Great. Thank you guys for answering that question. Other questions for Vanessa and Gretchen?
I'd love to see your faces too.
I can stop sharing.
There we are. Okay, other questions or even comments?
Is anybody here planning to attend the training in November? Great.
If anyone has suggestions for trainings or professional development opportunities or challenges they're facing right now, we're also happy to kind of take that feedback and try to work and roll it into future trainings. Thanks, Emily.
too bad CDA employees can't help. Or I would totally.
Got to be a way to get you there, Raquel.
Gotta vote on it.
Okay, well, last call, any other questions? I just would, again, really encourage folks to get involved. Vanessa and Gretchen are such great resources, and this is just a really good opportunity to kind of collaborate and share resources and further the mission of conservation districts as a whole. And so we would be really excited to also get any feedback for training options going forward, how CDA and CSCB can help you all in the great work that you're doing. So please feel free to reach out to Garth, John, or myself, or anyone. And so we really look forward to seeing you all in November, and then the training that we're going to be doing in March as well. And so we'll definitely be sending out more information as that gets a little bit closer. So one last call for questions, and if not, we'll go ahead and send you all on your way. Okay. Excellent. Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks, Gretchen. We will see you all later.
Sounds great. Thank you for the opportunity.